Now, let's proceed to adding and subtracting radical expressions. What is a radical expression? Radical expression is any expression that contains the square root of a number. An expression containing a radical called a radical expression. So this one is called the index, and this one is called a radical expression, and this one is called a radicand.
Video ka?
Similar radicals are radicals of the same order and have the same radicand. In combining similar radicals, add or subtract its numerical coefficient and copy the common radical. So for example, 6 on the square root of 2, 8 on the square root of 2, minus 7 on the square root of 2. So since we have the same radicands, we just need to subtract or add the numerical coefficients. So 6 plus 8 is 14 minus 7 is 7. And then copy the common radicand. Another example. 3 on the square root of 32 minus 3 on the square root of 8 plus 5 on the square root of 2 minus 2 on the square root of 128. The radical expression contains unlike terms, and we all know that if the radicands are not the same, then we can't add or subtract the radicands yet. We need to simplify the radicals before we proceed to adding or subtracting. So we need to the first thing that we need to do is we need to find the perfect square factor of a given radicand. So the perfect square factor of 32 is 16 times 2. And then the perfect square factor of 8 is 4 times 2. And then copy lang na to ang 2, the square root of 2. And then the perfect square factor of square root of 128 is the square root of 64 times 2. And then, next thing that we need to do is we need to break them into a product of a smaller square root. So, the square root of 16 is 4. So, ipagawas na to ang 4. Then, the square root of 4 is 2. The same sad, ipagawas ang 2. And then, copy lang na to ang 2. The square root of 64 is 8. Pagawas pa na to ang 8. Then, after simplifying, we will have the like terms that we can combine. In combining similar radicands, add or subtract its numerical coefficient and copy the common radical. So, 3 times 4 is 12 on the square root of 2. 3 times 2 is 6 on the square root of 2. And then copy it, the 5 and the square root of 2 minus 2 times 8 is equals to 16 on the square root of 2. So, 12 on the square root of 2 minus 16 on the square root of 2 plus 5 on the square root of 2 minus 16 on the square root of 2. So, now we have the radicals, the similar radicands. So, we can now add or subtract the numerical coefficients. So, 12 minus 6 is 6, plus 5 is 11, minus 16 is negative 5 and the square root of 2. So here's the final solution.